Hello, you guys. Hope everybody is doing well today. Give me just a moment as I see the computer is having a little struggle today. So hopefully you guys are hearing me okay. And also here on Instagram. But as I said, it looks like we are dealing with just a little bit. The computer's like trying to fight me today. And so I'm going to try to get everything closed. Anything that could be getting in the way of our processing power. But I see a couple of people already joining us, and over here on Instagram, you hopefully are also hearing me okay. And if you can just give me a little chat, a little thumbs up, something like that, if the audio is starting to work now, or if I'm out in sync, not out of sync, if I'm now in sync, that would be awesome if you guys could help me out with that as well. That's really all I need is just a thumbs up or something like that, because I can see the technical stuff is a little wonky today, but I hope that's not going to stop us. Right? We just got to keep on going. What they say about the show must go on, that sort of thing. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. If you're new to this show or just clicking on this for the first time, yeah, we got a lot of little issues here popping in and out, but I'm going to fight through it and see if we can make everything work. My name is Alan C. Paul. If you don't know me, I am a musician. I'm a creative coach. I'm an author, and I'm the creator here of God and Gigs. And we are here to help you build a better creative life from the inside out by applying timely spiritual principles to temporary creative problems. We have some friends joining us here on Instagram. We're going live here on Facebook and also on YouTube. I think everything is working out sound-wise now, and the video seems to be improving. But again, if you see some jumps back and forth, it's only because I can see that we're a little bit of internet issues today, and I'm hoping that we can, again, that it will correct itself. It's just the way it is, when you're dealing with live streaming on the internet. There's certain things you can't control, and one of those is whether or not the signal stays firm all the time, stays strong all the time. But it's better for me to do it now. Go ahead and keep going with the presentation with today's creative checkup for those of you who can watch me. And then if we need to fix it later, I can come back and re-record it and do something like that. So let me do quick announcements while we're seeing who's joining us. And let me also get the chat up here. I need to do two things. Sorry, so many things to do because I'm an army of one here. I got to share and I've got to check the chat to make sure we can see who's checking in. And make sure if you have a question, if you have some comments about what we're talking about today, I got to make sure at least I can see that. And so that means I got to be in a couple of places at once as we're talking to everybody. Ari, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm going to go ahead and share our thing to our creative checkup to our creative community. So all the places we got to share. And again, sometimes that means we got like a bunch of things open at the same time. So thank you for your patience. I wish I could just jump right in, but if I don't do this, then I'm actually, blocking people from actually enjoying and getting into conversation. So let me at least do a couple of clicks and get everybody in, hopefully. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, I think the internet's working a little better now. You said, sister, I'm so sorry. You know how I thought there's another friend of mine that has ARI and that's his name. So I am so sorry. I glanced down, saw the ARI, and I thought it was my friend. So okay, I'm sorry, and hopefully I'm saying it right, Ari. Okay, I apologize. I literally thought you were somebody else. I was not trying to change you into somebody else. I just saw the name out of the corner of my eye, and I assumed it was the same person. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. And again, you can see, guys, that I'm going back and forth between my two screens, between Instagram and Facebook. So hopefully, if I'm not looking at you, you realize I'm looking at somebody else who's also joining me. And of course, the glare in my glasses always drives me crazy. So I may not be able to see you. But at least I won't be, blinding you guys with my headlights in my eyes. Okay. So I think we are okay now. All right. I didn't see any thumbs up, but I'm assuming the sound is better. And as far as I can tell, my computer has decided to cooperate at this point. Okay. So let me tell you why I wanted to go live today and what our topic is. And I always try to think of something or deal with something that is actually going to impact the creatives in our community, the people that, like you, are getting ready to Either work on your next music project, your next creative project, art, your photography, your videos. We have people from all walks of creative life in the God and Gigs community, and we are united by the fact that we want to honor spiritual foundations. As I always say, this is from a Christian worldview, but it can help anybody. I'm a firm believer that no matter what your faith is, that these principles will help you in any way, any place you are. So I don't mince or change my faith or change the words that I use, but I do apply it to everyday life for every single creative. So what are we going to talk about today? We want to talk about productivity, creativity, and consistency. Why did I think of these three topics? Well, because here we are in the first Monday. Is this the first Monday, I believe? Yep, I think this is the first Monday of the last month of the year, 2020. And we are getting ready to move into what may, and we all pray will be, a much more predictable and a much more blessed 2021. But to do that, we have to set the right framework and set up ourselves for our success by doing the right things now. I think a lot of us, when it comes down to 2020, we're looking forward to getting rid of the year and turning the page. However, if we are still doing the same things the same way that we did in 2020, and I'm not talking about the pandemic or about Zoom calls or masks, I'm talking about our creative lives. If we don't change the way we approach things, we're going to get the same results that we got in 2020. And again, not talking about the things outside, not talking about external conditions. I'm talking about internal conditions. The way we do things has to be shifted or adjusted each year, I believe, so that we can get the most out of every year and that we can become the most consistent and most impactful creators we can be, so we can impact the world for good. And really just use our God-given talents in the best way possible. So that's what I want to be talking about today. I had some slides, but I think the slides were actually slowing down the computer, so I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. So hopefully I'll remember everything. But I think the most important thing I can tell you right off the top, if you're listening to me now, if you're watching this, is you've got to decide why and what you're going to focus on every day. Why you need to focus and what you need to focus on every day as a creative. Because if you know your why, you'll know your what. If you know why you do what you do, you'll also know what you need to do. And those goals, objectives, and things that will make your creative life more productive will flow out of those things, will flow out of your why, will flow out of your understanding of your purpose. And I think the reason why many of us are not consistent, why we kind of have off days, on days, writer's block days, where we feel like we can't get out of our own heads and we're not inspired, is because we get disconnected from our why. We get disconnected from the whole reason why we're doing this, and it becomes a chore. It becomes check off the boxes. It's the reason why I really don't believe much in the idea of resolutions. You probably all have made resolutions in the past, right? You make your New Year's resolutions, and we all know what happens in New Year's resolutions. Most of us quit after a few weeks, okay? Maybe 10 days, 14 days, maybe keep it for even like 16 days. But if you make it to 3 weeks, you might keep the habit, but most of us never make it that far. And I think it's because we forget that it's not just a box to be checked and just to say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or I'm going to write this book, or I'm going to do this, and just becomes a big whale of a goal, but doesn't have anything connected to the why you picked that goal in the first place. And so what I want to talk about are these challenges of consistency and how to overcome them. Last year, about this time, we did a consistent creative challenge. I didn't launch it this year. I am still considering launching it, but I'm going to basically give you kind of like the overview of the consistent creative challenge, because no matter when you hear this, if you're watching this video later, by the way, if you are watching this video right now and this is kind of helping you, thank you, Ari, for that comment right there. If you are watching this now and you have thought about or have been challenged about being consistent every week, being consistent every day in terms of your creative work, If you've ever felt that kind of pull to like get distracted and do a million things but not do the right thing, then either give me a thumbs up or give me a yes, that's me in the chat. Give me something that I know you guys are tracking with me, because that again not just helps me with the technology and make sure you can hear me, but it also helps us stay on the same page, okay? So let's talk about the why you are not consistent, the reasons why we are not often consistent. I think the first thing easily you can say is that most of us get distracted by the busyness of life, by the fact that there's so many things on our plate. So many things on our plate that we end up losing track of the thing that really matters. And usually the thing that really matters is that one thing at the top of your list that would have the most impact on your creative career, or that would help you have the most impact on others. I call these my cold shower things, okay? So I'm kind of weird. We use this term for you. I like to think of the thing that I hate to do the most, but I know that would make the most impact, as the thing that would be the same as me turning on the shower and you get that blast of cold water. And everybody, I don't know anybody that really loves a cold shower unless you're out in the desert somewhere. That first blast of cold water, or jumping into a pool, maybe for you, it's a shock, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. If you have no hot water and you gotta take a shower, you're gonna have to do it. And so the cold shower moment for me usually is that one thing that I must get done, and the thing that will have the most impact on my creative career. Like, for example, this video itself is one of those things that I know if I'm reaching out to you and we're connecting, is going to have the most impact on my life and on your life if I do this consistently every week. It's also the thing that takes a lot of time to put together, to make sure the camera's ready. And I was freaking out about getting the camera and getting on live. And everything seems to be happening at once. And it's so easy just to say, you know what, let me just put this off. I don't even want to deal with it. But cold shower moment, turn it on, do the things that need to get done each time, because I know that's going to have the most impact on your career, on my career and your career, if we're connecting. Let me read down here for Instagram. Okay. You have 2 children. Ari, I'm saying it right? Ari, I don't know, it's Ari with a roll. I have 2 children under 2, and navigating my creative life this season has been very challenging at times. God bless you. 2 children, parenting, and this season is not easy for anybody, but especially us that have creative lives and are trying to navigate. So I absolutely am speaking right to you. I hope one of these tips helps you, because this is exactly what we're talking about things that can like help us get out of the busy work. And not saying parenting, busy work, parenting is your most important work. But how can we balance the two, right? So what I would say is, first of all, let's focus on doing the right things every day. The thing that matters the most. Some people call it the big rock. Finding something to do with the big rock. Let me jump over here real quick to Facebook and make sure that everybody is seeing me here. Yes, perfect. Okay, it's still there. So here's what I would say as a quick tip right away to get back to your why, to get back to your thing that will help you remember to put that big rock, the thing that you've been working on, the thing that's most important to you, but probably is, not as, doesn't seem as urgent, because it's so much more urgent to jump into the things that like jump on your plate every day, the emergencies, right? The tyranny of the urgent, some people call it. So what I would suggest, first of all, is to always start, and this is one of the kind of controversial things that I would say to start with. First thing you need to do is engage with your emotions. Your emotions is the core of how you act and why you do what you do. And so before you talk about the what you're going to do and all the different things, you got to remember why you love to do what you do. I also talk about this in a book I wrote, Break Through the Block. It's free on Amazon if you want to check that out. Break Through the Block, which is about breaking through the creative blocks. And I talk about getting back in touch with the thing that you love about your creative work. What is it that makes you so excited that you can't wait to paint? You can't wait to draw. You can't wait to compose. What is that thing? And if you know what that thing is, as once again, the internet seems to be acting up on me. So sorry, guys, I'm still following you, but hopefully you're following me. If that thing makes you feel a certain way, you got to reconnect with those emotions daily. If you have a journal, or if you have some pictures up on your wall, or a vision, board. Some people have all kinds of different things. But whatever that is that helps you to stay focused on why you love what you do, you got to keep that in front of yourself every day and reconnect with those emotions, reconnect with why you love what you love so that it never becomes dulled or you become cynical, or whether it's the money that you're not making or the time that you're not seeing people like come or show up for your shows or whatever. You got to constantly feed and refeed that part of your creative life. Okay, so that's my number one, is reconnect with your feelings. I call it engage your emotions. Okay, engage your emotions. If you want to start them all with the E, I think that's the first thing of all the consistent creative challenges. They're all E's. So you got to engage with your emotions. You have to go back to your why. Remember that you're given this gift, your calling, your ability for a purpose. And if you do that, you're going to find yourself so much more able to follow through with the what's and with the things and the checklists and everything else that you have to do. So that's my first suggestion to you, is write this down somewhere. I actually have a notebook with this if you need it. If you'd like to check it out, I actually have the consistent creative challenge all written out with this workbook. So if you're considering that, I'll put that link in the notes as soon as I can. And I'll make sure it's in the chat. You can come back to this same thing and this same place, and I'll make sure it's in the chat. I can't type it right now just because I don't remember if it's the exact same link. I want to make sure I get the right link. Okay, so that's the first thing. Engaging your emotions, going back to your why, is going to help you stay more consistent. Okay, and then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to really establish your priorities. Okay, so doing the right things every day requires that you establish what those right things are. What are the things that are going to bring you the most impact every day when it comes to your creative life? What things that if you sit down and say, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I can't use my camera, but actually I'll use my, I'll just take it off the board here so you guys can see it. That's right. Engage your emotions. I should ask you guys to type that out on Facebook and YouTube as well. Engage your emotions, because I see you over here. I haven't seen any chat, but maybe it might not be coming through. Oh, if you're watching on the creative community, I can't see you. Oh, let me quickly pull that up. I might lose some of my computer power, but I gotta at least look at the creative community page, because I do not know if you guys are chatting, because it does not go through to my feed. So I cannot see everybody at the same time. So I have to take a chance. I hope my computer can handle like 3 different streams at once. Let's see here. So if you guys are chatting on this, on the community, okay, go ahead and chat because I can see it now. All right. So do you guys see this little thing here? I can't know if it's turned around, or I don't know if Instagram can see it. This is what my wife wrote for me when I was writing my book. I wrote just right, but that's what she told me, because I was getting stuck. I was getting stuck every day with writing the book, which you see behind me, God and Gigs. You can get that at godandgigs.com/books for musicians who want to build a better life from the inside out without sacrificing their faith. So what I'm trying to do every day now is just do this. 500 words. Now, I'll be honest with you. Have I written 500 words in my books every day? No. Not recently. I've fallen off the wagon when it comes to 500 words a day. What I do realize I'm doing is that I am writing every day. Now, that's not always creative work. Sometimes it's just sales copy or emails. Sometimes it is just Facebook posts. Sometimes it is just journaling. I do try to journal every day. But the key is, it's just get out of the way and do it. Start writing 500 words a day. So maybe for you, it might not be writing. It might be a song. It might be a sketch. It might be a just writing some ideas down, some topics for a poem, something like that. Topic ideas. I mean, just getting stuff on paper. Some people call this the blank pages or the artist pages. Comes from a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. She talks about doing this every day, just 3 pages of nothing. Just straight writing. Whatever you're thinking, is just writing it down. So I would suggest for everyone watching this, a quick hack is just find your place. Oh, looks like we might have lost connection. I hope I still have you guys. So I would ask you to find a place where you're going to write consistently, write down the main things that you're going to focus on that day. And always go back to that one thing that's at the top of the list that's going to make the most impact. Make sure that it is done every day. Now, here's the thing about it. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big goal. 500 words is not a lot for me to write. Maybe it's not a song a day because you can't write a song a day. Maybe it's just write a couple of lines a day. Okay, but there's a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits, and he says you cannot build on a habit that's not established. If you haven't established a habit, you can't build on it. You can't increase a habit that hasn't already been established. So you got to start with one step, something that's very simple, and then build your habits, your consistent habits, after you've at least established that you're starting the first habit. Is this making sense? If this is making sense and you're watching this even on the replay, just tell me, yes, this makes sense, okay? So my first one was to engage with your emotions, and then you need to establish your priorities. Establish the thing that you really need to focus on, even if it is a small thing, and make sure you do that every day. Okay, the internet is definitely not cooperating with me, at least according to my thing. So I hope you guys have watched all of this and did not get cut off. If you're still watching, just give me a wave or say hello or say hi, just to make sure I've not disappeared, because I'm definitely seeing some weird stuff with our connection. But as far as I can tell, we're still good. Now, talked about engaging your emotions, establishing your priorities, and I'm going to throw in one more, and then the rest of my prize save for next week, and we'll continue this conversation, okay? I also want you to reestablish, I can't remember the E word, enhance, there it is. I want you to enhance your environment, okay? So environment is the area that you're creating in. And it's a pretty simple concept in that if you don't like the place that you create, if it doesn't bring you joy, bring you fulfillment, if it makes you feel like junky and cluttered and it just makes you feel kind of weird every time you walk in there because it doesn't inspire you, you're going to not want to actually be in that room. So whatever creative space you're in, for me, it's just like cleaning up my office. Just making sure the office is clean is a big deal for me because, I mean, a lot of times it's not clean, but when it is, I feel awesome. And I feel like I can get stuff done and it doesn't like clutter my brain. And I just feel like, okay, you know what? I made this priority. I'm going to have my area, got my desk set up, my laptop set up. I'm going to have my coffee in the right place. Everything about my creative life will be set up so that it's kind of begins to feed that success. And it feeds me to feel that something's going to get done. I'm going to be productive. So enhancing my environment every day, always looking at, okay, what can I put that's inspiring? What goals do I have to achieve? What things do I need to put on my bulletin board? What needs to be here that I can absolutely be sure that I've set up myself for success in terms of my environment? Maybe you're a mobile creative. Maybe you're a musician that plays and you don't necessarily play in the same place all the time. But what can you do in your car? What can you do to kind of set up an environment when you're either playing certain music or you're, certain devotional activities, something that sets up your brain, sets up your mindset. Your environment can also be internal as well as external. So these are all concepts that I am telling you that I really feel, as we say hello to some of the people here on Instagram, I feel that if you just take time to take these couple of steps, establishing your priorities, engaging with your emotions, remembering your why, and then it's setting up your environment around you so that it always implies forward motion, that you're thinking ahead, you're going to find yourself less stopped by blocks, by self-talk, negative self-talk. You're going to find yourself less just in a funk when it comes to creativity. Those moments will become less and less prevalent. You'll become more and more likely to stick with it. And as you guys, we're all moving into 2021 and we're all saying, okay, well, what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. The only thing we can change and control is how we respond to things. And I'm just very passionate about this. I hope you're hearing in my voice. I hope I'm not like just talking over you. I hope you're hearing me talk to you. Okay, as I try to look right at the camera. I hope you hear me talking to you. I hope you hear me talking to you, Instagram. This is all about you achieving the work that God blessed you to do and doing it at the most effective and the highest level possible. And if you are consistently doing the things that matter, you're going to be more of a blessing to more people. You're going to impact the world in a greater way. You're going to be more equipped to show up for your families. You're going to find more success coming to you. And financially, you're going to be able to like talk to yourself and talk to other people with confidence. All these things will happen because you've rehearsed and consistently done the right things each day. It's going to have what we call the compound effect. It may not feel right the first day, but the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth day, it's going to feel more and more natural for you. And a lot of you that I've talked to have felt that your confidence is the issue. You don't feel confident in what you're working on. You don't feel confident in stepping forward. You don't feel confident in really engaging with the new goal you have for yourself. And all I'm saying is try to just think of the one thing that you can get done. Don't focus on the whole enchilada right now, okay? Just the one thing and make it a goal to set up, okay, I'm going to do this 2 days in a row. Next day, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row. Don't focus on the biggest thing. Just focus on the one thing. Small thing it could be a very small thing. But if you do it day by day, week by week, month by month, you're going to find yourself reaching the big goals you've set for yourself because you started with the little goals. Let me check in one more time to make sure we have anybody here on the creative community. And if you have enjoyed this, if you're watching this on the replay by now, just let me know because again, it helps me to know. And not everybody can go live with me at 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock on Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. I know not everybody can jump in, but you're here now. And so if you're here now watching, just let me know if this is helpful, if this has blessed you. Share it with a friend. If you're watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you subscribing to the show. Just click and subscribe. That way we can connect with you and continue to stay connected when we do new videos and new trainings. Instagram, same thing. I hope you'll follow me if you're watching this on a replay and somebody shared it with you. So all this is designed for you to really dig into your calling, to your creative ability, to just make sure you know that you have the capacity to do the things that you are blessed to do creatively, and you got to do it every day. You can't simply do it one day at a time and then take 5 days off, 7 days off, a week off, 2 weeks off. You got to stick with this, and I'm encouraging you to stick with it in those 3 ways. I got 2 more that I can share with you next week, but I'm going to save that for next week because it's already 2:30 and I like to keep these short and to the point. So, couple of announcements, those of you who are watching this on a replay. I hope you've already checked out our podcast, which came out on Thursday with LaShonda Brown, who is an incredible creative. And I'm talking about being consistent. She's going to give you tips that's going to help you be consistent. If you go to GodOfGigs.com/91, I'm 99% sure that's the link. So let me actually type that in because I say I'm not going to type, but I think I should type this one in. So go to GodandGigs.com/91 if you want to watch on the website, or simply go to God and Gigs on any podcast episode. Just type in God and Gigs and you will see that podcast pop up. Excuse me as I clear my throat a little bit. So you'll see that podcast pop up on every podcast. We're on Pandora now. It's really awesome. We're on Pandora. We're now on Instagram. We're on Pandora. We're on Amazon. We're on, obviously, iTunes, which is more, called Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on pretty much every podcast network app there is. So if you've got a podcast app, any podcast app, simply type in God and Gigs, GOD and GIGS, okay? You will find that podcast. Look for episode 91. That's the one we just released with LaShonda Brown. It is incredible. You're going to find so much inspiration in that one. And more importantly, some practical tips and the tools that'll make you more productive and keep you moving forward in 2021. You need to listen to that episode before you get to 2021. I'm just telling you right now. Listen to that episode before the end of the year, okay? I'm just giving you your homework. You listen to that episode, you're going to be more set up for success in 2021, okay? Episode 91, that's with LaShonda Brown of Bootstrap Biz Advice, and then follow her channels as well. You can find all the show notes. All her channels are there. But if she's watching on Instagram, I hope she knows that we're so appreciative of her advice and her wisdom. Christian creative who is just incredibly engaged, as once again you hear right when I started this thing, somebody coming through. Okay, let's see if I see this comment. Oh, that was me. There we go. Awesome. So that's about it, guys. It's 2:35. If you want to connect with me, make sure you reach out to me on Facebook, God and Gigs, YouTube, also God and Gigs, but you can probably just obviously subscribe. It's a lot easier way. Leave a comment here if you're watching this on the replay. Instagram, if you're already following me, thank you so much for following me, God and Gigs as well. And my email address, alan@godandgigs.com, is an easy way to get in touch with me as well. If you want to consider working with us as far as a one-on-one coaching, creative consultation type thing, which we do coaching. I'm going to be launching very soon something much bigger than that, which is really awesome. But in the meantime, if you'd like some advice and some of this kind of coaching to help you get to the next year in even better shape as a creative entrepreneur, as a musician, as a faith-focused freelancer, if you want to get any of that in your life, contact me. You actually should just go to godandgigs.com/coaching, and we can talk about how I can help you directly. Let's see here. Will this live be available later? Yes, I am already on Instagram. I'm going to save this. This is also on Facebook. It's saved on Facebook. I might do a little editing just to chop out the beginning where we're having technical difficulties. But yes, it is available live. I save it here on Instagram. And I will also be doing a little clip version of this. If you want to check out the Consistent Creative Challenge materials, I haven't decided if I'm going to do the challenge again. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I think I might do the challenge. Just trying to decide if I can get it done before. Maybe I'll do it at the beginning of 2021. That might be a better place to put it. But yes, this will be available, and I'd love for you to connect with me as well. Send an email or just put just put your information or DM me, and I can also send stuff directly to you. Okay, DM me your email, and then I can also send you directly that the entire 5 steps to the Consistent Creative Challenge and the workbook that we developed. Again, I just don't have that link ready. I should have had it ready. I wasn't consistent. I wasn't working on that. All right, so I think I've done all my announcements. I thank everybody that has commented. Thank you so much for checking in with me. This is really, again, a labor of love, but it's a more labor of purpose for me. I know this is what I'm called to do. I know even then when it's tough, I got to show up for you. I know that you got to show up for somebody. Somebody's waiting for you to show up. Somebody that God has put in your life. Someone, an audience member, a listener, a viewer. Somebody's waiting for you to show up because you've been gifted with a certain gift and calling in your creative gift. And that doesn't necessarily mean within or without the church. It just means you're called to create something and to do it in an excellent way, to do it in what Jordan Rayner says, for the glory of God and the good of others. I use that quote all the time now because it really fits what God and Gigs is about. And so I hope you're going to go do that. I hope you're inspired and encouraged by this to be productive, be creative, to be consistent. And those 3 things are going to help you in 2021 and beyond. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and sign off, you guys. Make sure to be here next Monday. Subscribe once again to YouTube. Like us on Facebook. And then make sure to follow us on Twitter or Instagram so that you can be a part of this next time, okay? But until then, hope these tips helped you. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Take care.